Hey guys, how's it going? This is Ryan from Communicate, and I haven't really gotten into YouTube yet. I did one video for YouTube for an interview. I run an entertainment website called Communicate, and that's about it. But I wanted to get on here today and talk about something that I feel like a lot of people are dealing with right now, and that's a sense of purposelessness. And a little backstory on me. I am an admissions counselor. I was an admissions counselor at a university. Now I evaluate people and to see if they can get into school, basically. But in my conversations as an admissions counselor, I came across a lot of people that it was clear they were very gifted individuals, extremely talented, had a lot going for them. Yet they did not know that about themselves. So, and that was for a lot of reasons. But I just want to make this video for those of you who may be feeling a little lost, a little as if you don't have a purpose here. At the extreme end of that, you might even be feeling like your life is useless as a result of not being able to kind of find your purpose. So I just wanted to talk a little bit to you today. If you're that person who's just feeling lost or trying to find your way in the world, it's a big world. It can be a scary world, but first thing I'm going to tell you is just take life one day at a time. You don't need to think past today. Just think about living in the moment and settling with yourself on kind of what you want to think about, who you want to be. In every single person has gifts, has talents. And the reason you may not be able to see clearly as to what those gifts and talents are is that oftentimes, as we grow up and as we go to school and go to, as we do life, doubts, discouragement from family members, peers, self-berating, negativity tends to get in the way. And those things can really cloud our vision of who we are, and they can cloud our ability to even see that we have a purpose. Some of us grew up in a home where we were encouraged in our gifts, in our passions, in our desires, encouraged to take risks. Some of us weren't. And so no matter who you are, whether you can see it or not, you have a purpose and you matter. And you're very special. You've got a very distinct purpose for your life. So if you have been kind of dealing with negativity, if you've been trying to see your way past that, know that you're not alone. You do have a gift, you do have a purpose. You just might not be seeing it right now due to negativity and due to those things I mentioned. So the first thing I encourage people to do, or I encouraged as an admissions counselor, if they were talking to me, they wanted to go to school, they wanted to kind of make something of themselves, but they just didn't know exactly how to do so. What I tell people is think about what you were passionate about as a kid. When you're a kid, you're kind of a clean slate. Like I said, I believe that everyone is born with a gift, with gifts and a purpose. And when you're a kid, you are the closest you are to a clean slate. Negativity hasn't really had much of a chance to kick in yet for you as a kid. I'm going to give you an example. My passion is fighting victimization, and always has been. And that was one of the first things I was ever passionate about as a kid. The first time I saw an example of victimization on TV, it moved me in a way that it still does today, and it's only gotten stronger with time. So for you, that might be painting, it might be art, it might be the outdoors, it might be music, it might be math, it might be chemistry, it might be helping people, it might be there's so many great careers out there. It might be finding a product that you feel like somebody needs. helping people's well-being, mental and physical. There's so many different things out there, and if you can remember back to when you were a kid, um, think about the things you were passionate about then, the things that made you happy when you were a kid. The next thing I'd like you to think through, as you're kind of sitting with trying to figure out what your purpose is, think about what you care about. What are you passionate about? Um, I'll give an example. Somebody recently I was talking to, she had a passion. She was like an athlete. She had clearly a fighter spirit to her. She was a protected person. She had no idea though how to fit that into a career. So we went through this whole conversation. Ended up being that public administration was going to be a good fit for her, and the reason for that was because she was a protector in nature. In public administration, you can set up systems to protect people. You can set up systems to ensure that if you have to evacuate people, you can do that effectively without, causing a panic. Do it effectively. Think, think ahead so that there's a plan to stop any kind of terrorist attacks or to minimize the chance of them happening. Um, just like that, if you've got a passion for protection, or if you get kind of a fighter spirit, you might think law, public administration, something like that. If you got a passion for, helping people, you might want to think in the healthcare field. But the point of that is that, who you are and what you're passionate about can tie directly into, a good career and a good purpose for you. So, the next thing, obviously, think about what makes you happy. Um, and honestly, happiness oftentimes comes from being in a place where you know that you're in your niche. So think through things that, what you're happy can often be a really easy way. Finding what makes you happy can be an easy way towards figuring out who you are. What is the core of your person desire? Um, you know, if you I like, Brazilian Jiu Jitsu a lot. I've got my own kind of protective nature about me. I love, the outdoors. At the end of the day, I fit into kind of the protector realm myself. And for you, think about those things that make you happy when you do them. You're like, wow, I just really love this, that, the other. And start to tie that in. The next thing I would recommend is thinking about ways you feel most fulfilled. When you feel the most fulfilled, when are those times in life when you've been like, you've done something or been able to volunteer or something and you just feel like, wow, I feel really good about myself right now. I feel really great. Oftentimes in order to get out of a funk, we have to help others. It's really weird the way that works, but with us as humans, oftentimes, in order to get out of a funk of depression, of feeling sorry about ourselves and our situations, we have to help others. So I would encourage you to think about when you feel most fulfilled in helping other people. The next thing is really huge, guys, and I struggle with this a ton. I was in intense therapy and counseling for a while. I'm talking about a span of about 2 years because I beat myself up so much, among other things. But probably the biggest fault I had, or the biggest thing I dealt with, was self-deprecation. And now I can say that I have lots of gifts and talents. I've got a lot of things that I can offer to the world. But back then I was beating myself up so much that I couldn't even see it if I tried. So I had to learn to think positive about myself, to say positive things about myself, and when you build yourself up like that, you start to get an attitude or a vibe about yourself to where you all of a sudden your psyche allows you to take risks and to do things that you might not normally do. So I encourage you, if you're in a place right now where you're just feeling like you're useless, maybe you've made mistakes. You probably have. We all have. Allow yourself the grace to say, today is a new day. I'm a new person, and I'm gonna do the best I can, and I'm gonna give myself credit for doing the best I can. So I would really encourage you to think positive about yourself. Say positive things. Yes, I messed this up. Who cares? I did the best I could. I'm going to learn from it. You know, the best athletes out there, they're the ones who they'll throw an interception, like in football. They'll get right back out. They'll forget about it. They'll be like, you know what? On to the next thing. I learned from it. The guys that tend to struggle are the ones that throw the interception. You can tell it gets them down the whole rest of the game. Get back up. Get back on your feet. Keep fighting. Keep fighting. Um, Lastly, I just want to bring up that, if you're in a place where you're trying to find your way, um, I believe strongly, and I know strongly that there is a God out there, and He loves you, and He created you on purpose. And I want you to think about that as you're kind of thinking through your purpose and your career and where do I belong. In Psalm 134:14 in the Bible, it says, I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful, are wonderful. I know that full well. Again, I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. You were made with a purpose. There's no other you, and we need you. The world needs you. So get on your feet. Get on your feet, one day at a time. And just know that life is good, and that you're going to find your way eventually. So start thinking positively about yourself and watch what happens. Have a great day.